Hello my dear students. So today I am going to start next topic, okay, that is subject matter of economics. Now economics is classified or divided into two branches. Okay, what are that? Microeconomics and macroeconomics. So first here you have to understand the meaning of microeconomics. So this term micro, okay, micro is derived from a Greek word, okay. So micro means small. Now we'll move to the definition. So microeconomics is defined as the study of individual economic unit or the study of individual behavior, okay. So how will define this microeconomics? Microeconomics studies the economic behavior of individual economic variable. In microeconomics we study about the individual unit like individual households, individual household, individual farm, or individual industry. Now individual household, suppose say I am one of the family and that is my household. Now here in the case of microeconomics we have to study how my household or my family is spending their income to purchase various goods and services to maximize his or her satisfaction. So individual household means the household, how he is spending his income to maximize his satisfaction. So how he is taking the economic decisions, okay, how the individual household is taking the economic decisions. So that things we have to study in microeconomics. Now individual farm means producing unit. So how that individual producing unit is taking various decisions like what quantity they are going to produce, how much they are going to produce, okay, what type of techniques they are going to use. So this all comes under individual farm. Individual industry means any decisions taken by that particular industry. We know that in our country various number of industries are there, various number of farms are there, but when we are talking about individual household, individual farm or individual industry or individual market, individual market means maybe the market of vacuum, but when we consider the market of all, okay, all over India. So when we are considering the market of all over India means lakhs and lakhs of markets we are talking about. And if we are talking about large number of, then that will become the part of macroeconomics. Here microeconomics is the study of small economic unit, okay, unit will be small. So when we are starting about individual household, individual farm, individual industry, how they are taking their economic decisions, what they are doing to maximize their satisfaction, how much they are spending on the various goods and services to maximize their satisfaction. So these all are the part of this microeconomics, okay. Now we will move to the macroeconomics. So in Greek word this macro means large unit or the bigger unit. So macroeconomics is defined as the study of entire economy or economy as a whole. Entire economy or economy as a whole. Now I will explain you what is the meaning of entire economy. Entire economy means when we are talking about, suppose say Market. So market includes all the markets present in our country. Markets of Sikkim, markets of West Bengal, market of Delhi, market of Maharashtra. So entire country or entire economy is covered in the case of macroeconomics. So when we are studying about any bigger issues or bigger economic problem, that is a part of macroeconomics. Once again, please try to get the difference. Microeconomic studies the individual economic unit or the behavior of individual economic unit, whereas macroeconomic studies the behavior of economy as a whole or entire economy. So when we are taking any variable, that may be price. So when we are talking about price, so what are the prevailing price all over our country for any type of commodity? So that is called general price level. So when we are talking about the general price level, that is a part of macroeconomics. When we are talking about individual price, that is the part of microeconomics. When we are talking about income of one particular person, that is a part of microeconomics. When we are talking about national income or income of our whole country or income of our all population, then that is a part of macroeconomics. So this is the definition of micro and macroeconomics. Okay, next topic we have difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. So this is very important. Okay, this question may come for 3 marks or maybe of 2 marks, objective type question. So difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. So there is a difference in the terms of unit of study, as we have already done while doing the definition of microeconomics and macroeconomics. So in the case of microeconomics, the unit of study, what will be the unit of study? Individual market, individual household, individual firm, individual industry. Whereas in the case of macroeconomics, what will be the focus of unit of our study? Whole economy or entire economy. So any issues or any problem when we are analyzing for our whole country or for our whole economy, then that is a part of macroeconomics. So this, in the case of a unit of study, in the case of microeconomics, it deals with individual economic unit, or we can say that it deals with the behavior of individual economic unit, whereas macroeconomics, it deals with entire economy or economy as whole. Once again, what are the example or this one included microeconomics? It deals with individual economic unit. So that individual economic unit may be individual household, individual firm, individual industry. Whereas in the case of macroeconomics, it deals with the economy as a whole, or it study about the economy as a whole. That includes all markets. Okay, we can see that all markets or all households. When we are studying about national income, so that all are the part of this macroeconomics. So that is in the terms of unit of study. Okay, now the second difference we have focus of study. So microeconomics and macroeconomics differ from each other in terms of nature of economic problem. Okay, the first one, microeconomic deals with the determination of prices and quantity in the individual market. So how the price and the quantity is varying in the market. So we will study about that in the case of microeconomics. Whereas in the case of macroeconomics, we deal with the broader economic concept or broader economic views like aggregate demand, okay, national income, aggregate consumption, aggregate savings, aggregate investment. So when we are using the term aggregate represents all income of all our country, saving of our country, okay, demand, aggregate demand means demand arising out of our whole country, not by individual person or individual household or two household. Okay, aggregate demand means the demand generated from each and every household in an economy. So here the focus of study will be different. In the case of microeconomics, we will be focusing or determining only the price and quantities, whereas in the case of macroeconomics we are dealing with the bigger issues like national income, aggregate demand, aggregate consumption, aggregate saving, etc. The next difference we have in the terms of basic parameters. So microeconomics and macroeconomics differ from each other in the terms of parameter, basic parameter. So in the case of this microeconomics, what is the basic parameter? Price and quantity. Okay, price, basic parameter is price. We can say that in the case of this microeconomics, what is the basic parameter? The basic parameter is price, whereas in the case of macroeconomics, what is the basic parameter? Income or national income is the basic parameter. Now here in microeconomics, what is the basic parameter? Price is the basic parameter. And in macroeconomics, what is the basic parameter? National income. Okay, national income is the basic parameter. Now this price, especially in the case of microeconomics, how the individual unit, okay, are taking their economic decisions. So individual unit, whether it is individual household, individual firm, they will take their economic decisions on the basis of prices. For example, suppose say I am one individual unit or individual household. So when I am going to demand any items from the market, what I'll do that I will see the price. If the price is high, my quantity demand will be less. So when the price is less, my quantity demand may be high. So here the individual unit like households, they will take their decisions on the basis of price. If price is high, the quantity demand may be less. If price is less, quantity demand may be more. But in the case of macroeconomics, what is the basic parameter? National income is the basic parameter. So on the basis of that national income, the various decisions like aggregate consumption, aggregate investment, okay, aggregate this one public expenditure, how much the government should spend for the various purpose, on the basis of the national income or income of a country, what they do that they take their decisions that how much they are going to spend on public purpose or public utility or for aggregate consumption, or how much the economy or country is going to save their income. So all these decisions are taken on the basis of national income in the case of macroeconomics, whereas in the case of microeconomics, on the basis of this price, the individual unit will take their economic decision. How much should I purchase that commodity, or how much the individual unit will hire the number of labor. If the wage of labor is very high, they may hire less unit of labor. So this is applicable in the case of microeconomics. Okay, the next difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics in the terms of methods of study. In microeconomics, we use the techniques of partial equilibrium analysis. Okay, this microeconomics uses the techniques of partial equilibrium analysis. So now we have to understand what is partial equilibrium analysis. So in partial equilibrium analysis, we make the assumption of ceteris paribus. Okay, what we make assumptions of ceteris paribus, or that is also called other things remaining other things remaining equal. Once again, in the case of microeconomics, we use the techniques of partial equilibrium analysis. So what is that partial equilibrium analysis? We make the assumption of ceteris paribus or other things remaining constant. So what is that ceteris paribus or other things remaining constant? While formulating the law of demand, we have seen that while explaining the law of demand, once again, while explaining the law of demand, what we do that we say other things remaining constant. Okay, when price of commodity increases, quantity demand decreases, and when price decreases, quantity demand increases. So what are that other things remaining constant while formulating this law of demand? The other things that is remaining constant are, number one, income of the consumer, okay, taste and preference, income of the consumer. Number two, taste and preference, maybe credit facilities, etc. So various factors are there that we are keeping as a constant. Okay, then we are formulating this law of demand. So that condition is called ceteris paribus or other things remaining constant. So while explaining any issues, what we are doing that we are keeping some of the variable as a constant and some of the variable as a changing factor or variable. Okay, so here price and quantity demand are the variable factor, income of the consumer, taste and preference, credit facility, government policies, etc. that are keeping constant. Whereas in the case of macroeconomics, what technique we are using? We are using quasi-general equilibrium analysis. What is the methods or techniques? Quasi-general equilibrium analysis. So what is that quasi-general equilibrium analysis? The mutual dependence of the variables. Okay, mutual dependence means, once again, while defining this law of demand, what we did, we kept some of the factor as a constant. But in the case of macroeconomics, all the variables, okay, the impact of all the variables will consider at the same time. Mutual dependence, like aggregate demand and aggregate supply are interdependent with each other. So when we define this quasi general equilibrium analysis, we will not keep some of the factor as a constant, or we will not use the condition of ceteris paribus. Here we will not use the condition of ceteris paribus or other things remaining constant. All the factors will be variable and the impact of all the factor will be considered at the same time. Now I'll give you one example. Consumption depends on various factor. Okay, aggregate consumption, suppose say aggregate consumption, we are considering bigger issues. Now that aggregate consumption depends on the various issues, maybe income, okay, income, number of families, or we can say that population. If the population is more, consumption will be more. Okay, similarly here some other factors are also there. Okay, the number of kids or number of family members, that all comes under this dependent factor or mutual dependence. So here consumption depends on income, number of family members, etc. So here we are considering two factors, family member and income. So there is a mutual dependence. Similarly, when we are explaining aggregate demand, so that aggregate demand and aggregate supply may be mutual dependence or dependent with each other. The impact of when two variables or three variables are considered at the same time, then that is called what? Mutual dependence. Once again, I'll give one more example. In the case of this quasi-general equilibrium analysis, when we are talking about the production of food grains, so the production of food grains not only dependent on quality of seed, not only dependent on rainfall, not only dependent on quality of soil. So when we are considering the production, when we are considering that production depends on production of food grains, depends on various factors, maybe soil quality, maybe seed quality, rainfall, etc. So all the factors, the impact of all these three factors are considered at a same time, then that is called mutual dependence of the variable. So that is in the case of this macroeconomics.